Hey everyone, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. Today for you, I'm going to be showing you how to create two different French manicures using some Orly polishes. So first up, we're going to go over the products that we are going to be using today. So let's do that. First up, we're going to be using this Orly top to bottom base coat plus top coat. So this will be our base and our top. Then we're going to use the Orly French manicure color, and I believe it's called Rose Colored Glasses. And then for another fun kind of spunky version, we're going to be using a shade called Des Fleurs. And then of course we have a white tip polish, which I believe is just called white tips. Yeah. So first up, we're going to start with the traditional French manicure, and we're going to do two coats of the rose tinted glasses. And this is really nice. It covers really well in two coats in my opinion, and I really like it. So let's start that. It's like got a really good milky consistency, and you guys, I'll just let you know now, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this polish in the near future because this is going to be a great abstract like base for nail art. So I'm really excited about it and trying not to give too much away, but you're going to see it in the near future very soon. But there is two coats. I feel like two coats is really even. It gives a good milky tone. And so we're going to be done at two coats actually. And then you're really going to want this to dry completely before you move on to this next step. But for this next step, we're going to be taking their little French tip guides, which are curved. So they're not really ideal for my nails since I do have square shaped, but it still works pretty well. And we are going to apply these to my nails, and we probably are going to speed this up a bit because I'm going to go ahead and do all 5 of them. But as you can see, you have to be very precise kind of. You definitely need to make sure they're adhered all the way to the nail. You don't want any bubbles because you don't want any of the paint going underneath, because trust me, I had a few incidents where that happened. But now we're going to speed through the rest. And just a little tip that I have found useful for me was that I didn't do this sticker part until the next day. So basically at night I would go ahead and paint my French base, and then the next morning when I knew everything was completely and 100% dry, I would then do this step. But of course, you might not want to break up your manicure like that, so you just want to definitely make sure that you have everything dry. Maybe go ahead and use a quick dry top coat to help speed up that process if needed. But now we're going to speed through this because I'm going to go ahead and do all 5 nails. Okay, now that I feel like I've got them on, they're pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get out the white tip polish, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the white to the tips. I do realize these kind of start to disappear on camera, but hopefully you can tell. And if you go over the edge of your nail, you can always clean that up later, so don't worry about that. But we are going to speed through this. I will also mention that I did have some like seep under the stickers, so this isn't necessarily a foolproof way of doing it. But if you are kind of fearful of that and you don't mind your regular nail base color, you could totally just do this on top of your naked nails or on a base coat, and you could then use like an acetone to clean it up beforehand, if that makes sense. I think it does, but I'm actually more used to doing it free-handed, so we are going to freehand this in the next part of the video. But here's this part. I've got it done, so let's peel them off. So here's that final look when I've peeled everything off. Not perfect, but pretty close that really nobody would be able to tell from afar that they weren't perfect. So we're going to go ahead and apply that same base coat that we used earlier as a top coat now, and this does dry really shiny and nice and plump, and it makes your nails feel really nice and kind of like that fake plasticky feel, which I actually really do love. And there is that. That is your traditional French manicure. I've actually done this type of manicure for friends for a really long time. And another way that some of them like to do is to actually go ahead and put another coat of the rose tinted glasses on top, just to give it a very super natural look. But now we're moving on to the more fun, kind of spunky, I like pink version. And here we are going to do 2 coats of the shade called Des Fleurs. And this is kind of shimmery but very sheer, so we're just doing 2 coats because that is kind of the whole concept with a French manicure, is to still kind of see through it. But of course you could build this up in maybe, 3 to 4 coats. But once you have let that dry, you can actually go in and freehand your white line like I'm going to do. That is actually my preferred way of doing a French manicure because I feel like I have more control over it. And if you have a square nail, you can kind of tailor this a bit more shape-wise for you, and you can always touch it up with acrylic paint, which I love. So there is my natural line that I tried to follow. That is another tip. Try to follow your natural nail line when doing a French manicure. It will make it just so much easier. So there's that, and hopefully you can see it even though it kind of disappears. But overall, that is really fun, easy ways to do a French manicure, and they look pretty cool on. So that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all back here for a very fun video this weekend. So talk to you later. Bye.